Right, what's happening? So, it's been a few weeks since I filmed one of these videos. A few days ago I got back from my trip, which went really fucking great. I didn't film anything for it, so there's not gonna be a video for that, but whatever, man. It was fun to just sort of focus on the trip itself and not have to worry about, you know, filming a video and getting good angles of everything that I wanted to film and shit like that, man. It really adds an extra burden, and this whole trip for me was just about taking it easy. So yeah, I have some plans for what I want to do in December, but it's actually quite a bit different, considering that I'm not actually going anywhere. It's something that I want to do for Maddie and I here, and I will talk more about that as it develops. So we're going to talk some more about some records. We're probably going to get somewhere like the halfway point through the B's in this video, so that's good. But if you can hear it in the background, and I hope if you can hear it, you recognize it. That's this, Sepultura, Bestial Devastation. Yeah, man, fucking absolutely legendary shit. You guys know this one. So I'm trying this with my actual light on, so it might glare a little bit, but it should be just barely. It shouldn't be enough to bother anybody. If throughout this video it does bother you, just let me know in the comments. If I get enough comments saying that this shit is too much, then I'll go back to the way I was doing it. I just thought, you know, it kind of looks nice, so whatever, we'll give it a shot. Let's get into it here. The first three are from one project, a Swedish black metal project, and my favorite of the sort of ancient records bands. That's this, VEXED. This is Dalthus, I think was how you'd say it. I don't know, it's like that. This is the very first demo that this band released back in 2010. And to be honest, I never remember which one of these releases are which, just because the album covers are very similar and I don't speak Swedish, so the titles I kind of get mixed up as well. But it almost doesn't matter. Like, if I'm in the mood for something like this, I can pull out any one of the 4 VEXED records that I have, and it'll scratch the itch that I'm looking to scratch. So I don't really even pay attention to which one is which, so I couldn't tell you much about the individual releases in terms of the music, what might be different. But VEXED in general is a very cold sounding, sort of atmospheric black metal project. But there are noticeable melodies. Musically, it's real thin. There's a lot of ambience going on, and just the vocals are just like these howling wails, just sort of over top of everything. And I especially like how VEXED tends to sort of hop back and forth between black metal and just like straight dark ambience, because I mean, I think that shit's hot. I don't know what press this is. I don't think it's a first press, or if it is, it didn't come out in 2010, the record, I mean. But I honestly couldn't tell you. I don't know much about the presses or anything like that. Of course, Mysticism Productions. And I like this. It says, improvised and recording during One Evil Night in Mars, 2010. Sweet ass fucking picture of Homeboy on the back there in the woods, too. And it's just black vinyl with nothing special on the labels. And then a year after we got Dalthus, we got the one and only full-length album that VEXED has released so far. And that's this one, Dedunkla Hirarna. This one has 2 members on it. I know there's some weird controversy or something with the members in this band. Because I think for the most part this is a one-man project, but I don't know the story, and honestly I don't really care about the drama. But yeah, so far this is the only thing this band has released in terms of a full-length album back in 2011. And this is probably the one that I think I pull out the most. Not for any reason other than I think it might be the longest of the records that I have here. Or I could be totally wrong. Like I said, man, I really don't know. Because again, you got fucking snowy-ass trees. There's the back right there with, like I said, 2 band members, and you got the track listing. It is just black vinyl, again, with very simple labels. But what's cool about this one is you actually get a little poster, and the poster looks like this. This one's been in and out of frame since I got this thing, but I really, really like it, so it'll end up in a frame again eventually. Finally, we have one of the most recent VEXED releases, and that's this one, which is called, like, Dig Glomdus Yursarler or some shit. I don't even, the fucking title is not even on here. I mean, I guess it's on there in like runes, but I can't read that shit. So this one is actually just one song. This came out in 2016, and they haven't released anything since this. But what's weird is, like, if you look on Discogs, if you look at the record on Discogs, it actually says that there's a runtime of like 43 minutes or something like that. On the back here, it says there's one song on this thing, and there's a runtime of only 23 minutes. Offhand, I actually don't remember how long this is, and it's not like I sit down and clock this shit anyways, but this is just single-sided, so if you look at there's no like any cue-up lines or anything like that, so it is kind of hard to tell. It's just one long run-on there, so I don't know, man. There's nothing on the fucking label or anything like that. Super stripped down. Doesn't come with an insert or anything like that, but yeah, it's all really good. I'm gonna have to familiarize myself, I guess, even further to sort of distinguish them apart so I can actually have like a favorite or whatever. But like I said, man, Begin Next Move, you can't go wrong. All of it's really good, and it's all very similar. Some of the stuff just has more ambient sections than black metal, so whatever, I like it all. Begin Next Move, great shit. So, these next two are actually from a band that I'm not all that familiar with. This is kind of like a black thrash band, which for me, man, those things are kind of a dime a dozen. Most of them sound very similar. I remember the times I've actually listened to this, I liked it, but not enough to throw it on all the time. And that is this. Super fucking glossy, so I'm gonna try and keep the glare to a minimum. This is Bestial Mockery with Christ-Crushing Hammer Chainsaw, which admittedly is probably the best album title of all time. Christ-Crushing Hammer Chainsaw, man. This is the first of a string of full-length albums, and I don't remember how many there were. Probably 4 or 5 or something like that. But I think this album came out in like 2002 or something. And like I said, man, it's just black thrash. You pretty much know exactly what it sounds like. I guess this sort of does lean a bit heavier on the black metal feel with sort of more thrash metal riffs, which is cool. But like I said, man, that shit is, I mean, there's a million bands that sound like this. But they're from Sweden, and yeah, cool album title. The cover is a bit fucking cheesy, but whatever. There's the back right there. The gatefold is quite cool. You got all the lyrics, band pictures, just some little drawings of like razor blades and shit on the side. You have an inner sleeve here with like a collage of shit and then credits on that side. The vinyl itself is cool. It's red with like black splatter. Very fucking nice. And this comes with a poster, which I actually remember liking. Yeah, this is fucking cool. All red. I like the sort of monochromatic shit. But yeah, it's kind of hard to see with the glare, but it's like a war scene. And then I have what I think is the final full-length album that this band released. Slaying the Life. From what I remember, I think this was like 2006 or 7 or something like that. And after this, they didn't release another full-length album, and they're broken up now, so no chance of another one. But whatever. Yeah, you see front cover is kind of fucking weird again. There's the back right there, it's quite cool. Has sort of like fold out lyric sheet with a big collage on the inside there. Vinyl itself is really cool. Of course, it's very hard to see here, but it's like fucking purple with black splatter. There you go. Purple with black splatter, really fucking cool. And this comes with a poster of its own, and this one is just the album cover. Yep. Both of these are super fucking cheap on Discogs, so if you guys like black thrash stuff, then, I mean, this is good black thrash from what I remember. So check it out, pick it up on Discogs, because you'll get it for like 10 bucks. So yep, Bestial Mockery. All right, moving on. The next 4 are going to be Black Solis records. And of course, we're going to do it in order. So first here we got A Corpse, a Temple. I believe this was the first Black Solis that I actually heard. And of course, this is the first Black Solis full-length album. All right, so ran out of space on my fucking camera. I changed what we're listening to. We're listening to the Coffin Shakers now. Anyway, A Corpse, a Temple. First album, 2011, I think it is. And this one kind of falls just in suit with what the first 3 Black Solis albums really sounded like. Super fucking raw, like sort of that wall of noise quality, but without only being a wall of noise. Because if you sit down and listen to this, it's really, really good. And that's what I think that this band sort of needs in order to be enjoyable, is a real thorough listen. Because if you just sit down with this in the background, you're gonna hear a wall of noise. But if you listen to it, there are riffs and melodies here, man, and, you know, I said it when I first talked about this band, there is strength and simplicity, and Black Solis is a beacon for that shit. That being said, it's kind of hard to talk about because it is very simple. So, very, very simple front cover. There's the back cover right there. You have another version of just the album cover there with like the actual logo and album title. So the back here just has a bunch of creepy shit written on it, but I like the bottom. It says, if you own this for anything else than black metal worship, you should fuck off. If you don't need this anymore, destroy it. And this also is just black vinyl with real simple labels. And I forgot to mention, because it's on the actual sleeve, I have number 117 out of 300. And then in 2013, we got the second full-length album from Black Solis, Summoning the Night. And this one is a prime example of what you shouldn't fucking do if you're in charge of designing records. If you're going to make a record jacket that's almost entirely black, don't make it fucking glossy. Because you know what happens then? You fucking end up with fingerprints all over your goddamn jacket. And this has fucking fingerprints all over it. But again, very simple album cover. There's the back right there. You just have some information, which I like this. Summoning the night to enslave the earth. Summoning the dead to offer my flesh and their flesh. My blood and their blood. Candles and the dark canticles. As they echo within the dark chambers, I become the abyss, the endless night, the primordial darkness. Really weird. You actually get lyrics with this one, which are completely useless. If you've heard Black Solis, you know the vocals are literally just like sort of howls on top of like a wall of noise. So it's goddamn near impossible. If you can make out these lyrics, well done, but I can't. And again, at the bottom, if you got this to resell later, you can fuck off. The war is also against you. And the vinyl itself is just black, but I really like these labels. The A and the B, you can see there's like keys in there. Really fucking cool. And then in 2015, Black Solis blew up. And they did it with this. This is Mysteries. So more of the same, raw black metal. This is the one I actually know the best because this is the one I've listened to the most times. Mainly because 2015 was when I first heard Black Solis, and it was around the time that this was released. But yeah, again, it's kind of hard to talk about because all these releases are very similar. There's the back right there. There's keys all over this motherfucker. Before I forget, I have number 294 out of 300. With this one, and I don't know if the 300 were like all on white vinyl or if they were just kind of spread out between a black and white. I don't remember. But this is white vinyl, and I really like that label there. Really fucking cool. Then you got just keys on keys on keys. The mysteries are not to be revealed. Fucking cool. I like this. It says nothing is random. Everything has a purpose. Everything has a meaning. I don't know. I think it's cool. I think this album, you know, I think it's got a good title because everything about this band is sort of mysterious. Because I think at the time they hadn't even played live or anything. They have now, which I think would be really cool to see. But from what I remember hearing, it's like they didn't even want people filming their set or anything. I know it happened because it's on YouTube, but whatever. And of course, we all know the infamous big fucking black dick poster. Because, I mean, you back up, that looks like a dick, right? Or do I just got a dick on the brain? I don't know, dude. That's a dick. And finally, for Black Solis, and I haven't actually ever talked about this one in like an update video. And I think I've decided I'm not going to because I don't really know how. But there's this, which Banished from Time. So this came out last year, and this was kind of a sort of departure from what we've heard on the previous 3 Black Solis albums. Not a huge departure, but we can tell that Black Solis is sort of stepping away from the super raw wall of noise style of black metal. Now, I would say that is what this is, but the melodies on here, they're a lot more recognizable. Vocally, it's very similar. I don't even know how to describe it, man, but when you hear it, if you've heard all 3 of those other ones, you'll listen to this one and you can tell that this is sort of something a bit different for Black Solis. And I think that that's okay, and I'm kind of glad they did the album cover like this, because those first 3 feel like a trinity, because they've got very similar album covers and a very similar sound. Whereas this one feels almost more mature in sound, and I guess even in artwork. I actually like the album cover for this one. It kind of reminds me of that Natrunar album cover. I think it's Symbolismus, maybe? This one, it's got the guy holding the skull over his face. Album cover right there. There's the back cover, which is fucking cool. Of course, just some creepy shit, and you got the track listing. And again, you see right here, nothing is random, everything has a purpose, everything has a meaning. You got an inner sheet right here. With a quite cool picture on that side, and a cool little dragon guy on this side, again with some lyrics, which is weird. I don't know why I'm bothering to show you this poster, because I mean, you know what it looks like. It's just the album cover. Yeah. And then, kind of a weird thing here. So, Iron Bonehead put up the copies for this, right? And they put up black vinyl was first press. Black vinyl sold out, and the same day they had the second press, which was white vinyl. Iron Bonehead, take a seat, listen to me. That's not a repress. That is a first press that you sold after the first set of them were sold out. That does not qualify as a second press, Iron Bonehead. Anyway, I got the black vinyl. That's what it looks like. So, Black Solis is a polarizing band. Either you really like this style of black metal and you like Black Solis, or you don't like Black Solis because this just isn't your style of black metal. Or Black Solis is too popular for you, either way. Whatever, Black Solis, good shit. Okay, moving on with some more raw black metal. Black Citadel with Relics of Forgotten Satanist Wisdom. So this is, I think, a United States-based black metal project. Probably just one guy, but it's another one of these fucking bands where the discography is kind of confusing. I mean, this was just put out, I think, last year. And, I mean, it says very clearly on the inside, Black Citadel is dead. But there has been a couple releases, including Black Citadel, since this, including a split that I showed not that recently. But, I mean, you know what this fucking shit sounds like, dude. It's raw black metal, put out through Amor Fati. You got the track listing right there. This is actually a compilation of a couple demos or something like that. I don't exactly remember, but it's just kind of like one of these fold-over covers. It's not like an actual proper jacket. You have some lyrics for 4 of the songs that are on here, which there are 7 of. And like I said on the inside here, Black Citadel is dead. Black vinyl. So there was a second press of this, I guess. First press was limited to 100 copies, which it doesn't look to be numbered or anything like that. And the second press, from what I understand, was limited to 150. So pretty much everyone who wants one of these has one at this point. But yeah, stop making these fucking jackets. It's not cool. Just good raw black metal. If you like raw black metal, you know Black Citadel. That's Relics of Forgotten Satanist Wisdom. Alright, now that I've gone through and talked about a bunch of raw black metal, we're going to go through and talk about something that I like better. And this is when a large portion of you can leave, because the rest of these are going to be Black Dahlia Murder records, of which I have all of them. So, of course, starting off here, we have the debut. And that's this, Unhallowed from 2003. So this has arguably my favorite Black Dahlia Murder song on it, which is Closed Casket Requiem. Which I believe was also the first Black Dahlia Murder song I ever heard. And that song, man, every time I hear it to this day, it's just something I can reminisce real hard over. I have great memories with that song playing in the background, so yeah, I love this fucking album. There are other great songs on here, of course, Funeral Thirst, Elder Misanthropy, When the Last Grave is Emptied, of course, and Apex. But Closed Casket Requiem, if nothing else, this album is worth it for that song alone. This is the first repress of this, which came out in 2013. They just reissued this again. I don't think the reissue that they just put out was a gatefold. This one is. It's got all the lyrics. And when they did it, they only did it on one color, and that was this, what they called Coke Bottle Clear. Which makes perfect sense, and it actually looks really nice. And then in 2005, we have one of my, like, 3 or 4 favorite Black Dahlia Murder albums. That's this, Miasma. So, for the longest fucking time, since 2005, this thing was a fucking nightmare to get your hands on. I actually got this from Sean through a trade. I sent him a couple of records, Panopticon record, a Revenge record or something, and he sent me this, which for me was totally worth it because, I mean, this thing was going for hundreds of dollars. But of course it was just reissued, and now you can get it fucking everywhere on a million different colors. That's great, man. If you want a copy of this now, it's easy to get. But yeah, Miasma, the worst Black Dahlia Murder album cover, with some of the best Black Dahlia Murder songs on it. Fly, Statutory Ape, A Vulgar Picture, Dave Goes to Hollywood, Miscarriage, Spite Suicide's a great song, of course Miasma, I'm Charming is another great one. What I love so much about this album is, more than any other Black Dahlia Murder album, the vocals sound fucking feral. Trevor just sounds like he's going crazy, and I mean, no other Black Dahlia Murder album has this quality. So, great fucking riffs. Everything about this album is just great, man. I don't know why people place this as, like, the worst Black Dahlia Murder album, because it doesn't make any sense. This is one of the better ones. So, I think the reissue had an inner sleeve as well with all the lyrics, or maybe it was just an inner sheet. This one is an inner sleeve, but it's like paper fucking thin. But you do have all the lyrics, and just black vinyl. Very cool. And then in 2007, we got another one of my favorites, which is this, Nocturnal. So I was not the first owner of this, and it did get a little bit beat up at some point during its life. You can see a seam split and then what looks like some type of ding there, I don't know. But this is the first press of this one, and I know this one's been reissued at this point too. But first press was limited to 1,000 copies. I think it was like 500 on blue and 500 on like blue with black splatter or something, which was like the European version, I think. But great fucking album cover. Of course, this is the same guy who did the album cover for Nightbringers, and also the guy who does a lot of the album covers for Dark Funeral. There's the back right there with the track listing, real fucking simple. Of course, again, this one has another one of the songs that I have such great memories attached to, and that is What a Horrible Night to Have a Curse, which is, I mean, just like Closed Casket Requiem, it's almost unparalleled how many times I can think that, you know, just remind me of such a great time in my life, and that song is part of it. I mean, and that was the song that was playing when I got into the first car accident I ever got in. I don't know, just stupid things like that I tend to remember. But this also has Everything Went Black on it, which is fucking awesome. Death Mass Divine is another one of the best Black Dahlia Murder songs, along with Climatic Degradation and Warborn. But you have a lyric sheet here, which is like kind of small, like weirdly small, I don't know. And like I said, the vinyl is just blue. Really fucking nice, man, cool. And then of course, continuing on with the every other year thing that the Black Dahlia Murders had going since their very first album, in 2009 we got another full length. And again, this is another one of my favorites. Deflorate. Of course, this one is probably best known for the song Necropolis, but this also has Eyes of Thousand, which is probably my favorite on here. That Which Erodes the Most Tender of Things is great. I Will Return is a good song. Christ Deformed, Denounce the Grace, A Selection Unnatural is a cool song. And just, I mean, what's typical of Black Dahlia Murder albums is I love the themes for the songs, because it's not just Satan, Satan, Satan. And Trevor is a great lyricist, and it shows throughout all the albums, and this one I think especially. But this one's got a kind of weird album cover. I'm not super into it, but there's the back cover right there with all the track listing. And this was another one of the 2013 represses. This is the first repress that this one ever got. And it was put out on this orange vinyl. Oh, maybe you can call that yellow, but I think it looks orange. And then in 2011, we have what sort of became to be like a new era for the Black Dahlia Murder. And that's this, Ritual. This is, besides Abysmal, which we'll talk about in a minute, my least favorite Black Dahlia Murder album. And this one was a huge disappointment, man. Not because it's not a good album, because I do like it, but this album, more than any other Black Dahlia Murder album besides Abysmal, again, is it just has more songs that you can just kind of skip over, and that's like half the album. Like, the good moments on here are fucking awesome. A Shrine to Madness, Moonlight Equilibrium, The Window is a great song, Carbonized and Cruciform, A Grave Robber's Work, and Blood in the Ink are the good songs. But then you have the other ones, Unstirring Seas of Salted Blood, Conspiring with the Damned, Den of the Picarist, Malenchantments of the Necrosphere, The Raven, Grave Burning Nullifier. I don't like those songs. You end up kind of skipping around the album, and it almost just feels cheap, man. It feels like a cheap experience. And for me, I mean, this album is worth like 5 songs, and the rest of them I just don't care. Yeah, weird album cover. I remember all the pre-orders for this. They were kind of all like this sort of weird artwork. Yeah, but again, some of the themes on here are really cool. The songs that I like have cool themes anyway. Blood in the Ink is great in terms of, you know, the lyrics, and the same thing with A Grave Robber's Work and Moonlight Equilibrium. Inner Sleeve, all the lyrics. This one is, I think, the second press, but this one was pressed a few times pretty quickly. So, like, this came out, I think, the year that the album did. And I have the glow-in-the-dark vinyl, which I'm going to try and show you what that looks like. So let's see if this thing glows. Fuck yeah, it glows. God damn, look at that. That's nuts. I don't think I've ever looked at it in, like, actual blackness before. That must be why it sounds so fucking shitty. In terms of quality, man, this is the worst sounding record that I own. There's like this persistent fucking hum over the entire album. And I know it's not supposed to be there because I've heard the album not on vinyl, and it doesn't sound like that. So I'll probably never bother with another glow-in-the-dark record. I think I might grab one of these newer represses just so I can have a copy of it that I can listen to that sounds good. So, yeah. In 2013, we got another one of my favorites, maybe even my favorite Black Dahlia Murder album, which is this one, Ever Black. This one was also just reissued, or is in the process of being reissued, something like that. And I think it might be in just like a pocket jacket, maybe a gatefold. But this one was put on like a triple gatefold, which looks really cool. So you open it up and it looks like that. Really fucking nice. You have like the whole artwork like that. Cool. So I don't remember if this just came with like the big pre-order bundle that I got, but inside of the jacket were like these prints of the 3 sections of the album cover, which is cool. You have all of the lyrics, of course, on the inner sleeve. And this is really nice purple marbled vinyl, which fits perfectly with the album cover, obviously. So this one has another one of the songs that I consider to be one of my favorite Black Dahlia Murder songs, which is the very first song, In Hell Is Where She Waits For Me. Which I've said before that that song might be too good for its own good because it's so obviously the best song on the album that everything that comes after it is a little bit underwhelming. I mean, that's only in comparison. Every song on this thing is great, man. Phantom Limb Masturbation, fucking awesome, really cool concept for a song. Into the Ever Black is cool. Control, which is a song about Jeffrey Dahmer. Raped in Hatred by Vines of Thorn, which is obviously an Evil Dead reference. Their Beloved Absentee, it's basically told from the perspective of God. And Map of Scars, man, is another one of those songs, just has such a cool idea behind it. It's basically about a pair of twins who are so neglected by their parents and their home life is just so fucked up that they basically only find solace in like self-mutilation. And it's fucking sweet, man. This album is so goddamn good. And kind of like how the Black Dahlia Murder did after Ritual, it's like they put out a good album, they put out Ritual, which I don't think is a good album, then they put out Everblack, which is a fucking probably one of their best albums, and then they put out Abysmal, which is worse than fucking Ritual, and it looks like this. It looks like a brutal death metal album. And when they announced pre-orders for this, they mentioned that this album was picking up where Ritual left off. So, I mean, it makes sense that I don't like it, but and there are a couple good songs on this one too, so it's not a bad album, it's just, it's so underwhelming compared to fucking Everblack. But again, this is a triple gatefold with like credits and shit on the inside, cool demon guys, but you have like the whole artwork like that. Yeah, it just doesn't fit for the Black Dahlia Murder. Besides that, man, I don't like a single song title on this thing. Receipt, Reface, Vlad, Son of the Dragon, Threat Level Number 3, Abysmal, The Fog, The Advent, Stygiophobia, Asylum, That Cannot Die, Which Eternally Is Dead. I mean, there's some cool themes on this, again, like Refaced. Threat Level Number 3 is one of the better songs on the album. It's also got a pretty fucked up theme. Vlad, Son of the Dragon, obviously about Vlad Tepes. Receipt is a cool song with a cool theme, but like, I couldn't even tell you what most of these songs sound like because I've only listened to this album a handful of times. Just black vinyl. I don't know what this is limited to or anything, but I know this is their first press. So after bouncing back and forth between some of their best albums and their worst albums, after what I consider to be their worst album, they put out, again, what I could possibly think is their best Black Dahlia Murder album. And that's this one, Nightbringers. This was my favorite album that came out in 2017, and we're almost 8 months into 2018, and this is still my favorite from last year, man. This one feels exactly like Nocturnal, and that is basically the idea behind this album. They got the same artist, the layout is very similar to the first press of Nocturnal, and the songwriting sounds the same, man. You put this on, it sounds like something that this band could have put out in 2007. And again, man, some of the themes of the songs are just unbeatable, dude. Like Widowmaker is about a sniper. How many like death metal songs are about like a sharpshooter? It's super fucking cool. Matriarch is about chasing a pregnant woman down the road, you know, basically killing her for her baby. The song Jars has a really cool fucking theme. Kings of the Night World, As Good as Dead, The Lonely Deceased, Catacomb Hecatomb. All the lyrics for this one are great, man. You have some cool additional artwork and some credits on the inside. The vinyl itself, I think this is the first press. Red and black split, really fucking cool. This also comes with a ginormous fucking poster of the album cover. It looks like that. But yeah, man, the Black Dahlia Murder is and always will be one of my favorite bands. I can't think of another band that sort of has the effect on me that this band does. In terms of nostalgia, in terms of just energy, in terms of really everything. I love this band. And anyone who writes this band off, if you say this is a deathcore band, you're functionally retarded, or you've just never listened to the Black Dahlia Murder. It's got to be one of the two, because this is not deathcore. I love this band. Fuck you. Whatever. Black Dahlia Murder. And that's it, guys. we're done for now. We'll pick up next time, and next time we're going to be picking up with some Black Funeral. So that'll be the first shit we talk about next time. Yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed this. The next one will have considerably less Black Dahlia murder records, so I guess that's a plus for probably 70% of the people who watch this one. But hopefully you guys enjoyed it anyway. I enjoyed making it. I'm not going to enjoy filming it because this is split into like 4 videos because of all the technical difficulties. But yeah, thanks for sticking around, and we'll talk soon, guys. Later.